Okay, so recently someone had asked me to put together a preset for Mark Lettieri and kind of to capture some of his tones. And so I wanted to walk through a preset I created recently to try to get that kind of tone. And when you look into his gear, very much a lot of his tone comes from pedals. You know, he's using kind of a pretty clean amp. I've seen different videos him using different amps. Some of them are kind of boutique builders. Some of them are PRSs, probably because he plays PRS guitars. But generally, it's just kind of a warm pedal platform kind of amp. And then he layers on pedals, and he'll use a lot of different pedals. So what I ended up doing was, there's a video he did for Guitar Center when he went through kind of what he considers kind of the three main kinds of tones for a guitarist. You know, the clean, the edge of breakup, the drive, lead kind of tones. And so I used that as a basis, and then I poked around a little bit here and there to see kind of other effects that he uses pretty frequently and try to throw those in as well. So for this preset, what I've done here is the capture I use for the amp is actually this PRS Custom 50 Clean. So this is one of the captures I recently came across when I did my kind of every few months, let's look at the top captures on the Quad Cortex. And this one came up, and it was just kind of a nice, good, clean, warm tone. And so when I went to build this preset, I was like, well, let's use that one. What I ended up doing is running two of these together, basically with just slightly different EQs and slightly different gain levels. I'm just trying to build a little bit of a bigger tone than you can get from just one of the captures themselves. So you can see one here, I'm pushing the gain quite a bit. I was trying to push the amp into some compression. This is a very clean capture, and it's not really pushing it into any kind of drive, but I was trying to get it to maybe compress a little bit more. And I'm pushing some of the mids and trebles. And then on this one, I just kind of pulled back on the gain a little bit and then pushed a little more mids. And then I'm running it through a low high cut just to do the standard kind of 76,000. And so that sounds like this. And right now for this, I'm going to play my Fender Strat. I know he's an HSS guitar player. I don't have an HSS guitar on hand right now, so we're just going to use my Strat. So here's the neck pickup for this clean tone. So you can hear just kind of a nice, warm, kind of bordering on dark kind of clean tone. And then from there, we start stacking gains on top. So if we go to our gig view here, that was our clean. The next thing I did is, you know, he uses this melody overdrive pedal. That's his signature pedal. And I found a capture that somebody had created that on the Cortex Cloud. But what I added to that is a parametric EQ with the 6-band EQ that goes with the pedal. So the pedal has a built-in 6-band EQ. So I took those frequencies, put it in this parametric 8 so that we could adjust some of the EQ settings like you would do on that pedal. And so if I turn off the EQ, the pedal on its own is a pretty low gain. And I'm pulling back the gain a little bit more. The capture has more gain in it than I wanted. And so I kind of pulled that back a little bit to just make it a lower gain tone. And then we bring in the EQ just to add a little bit of kind of mid to upper mid. And so that's kind of that low gain sound. And then kind of the next gain level up for him is he likes to use the HRM, which is kind of a dumble-ish kind of overdrive tone. And it just so happens that I'd actually captured an HRM drive pedal on my own several months ago. I'll link to the video here where I run through it. And I just grabbed one of those. When I looked in the video, a lot of times he's setting the gain around 6, when I brought that into the preset, because I have one where I captured the gain at about 6, there's a little more gain than I wanted. So I'm actually using the one here where I had 4, and I'm keeping the mid and the top about halfway. And if I switch to my bridge pickup now, it sounds like this. So just kind of a nice, thick mid-focus drive. Not too much gain on it. And then if we want more gain, what he'll do is he'll stack the melody into the HRM. And so that's what I'm doing here. And so that gives us kind of more of that stack gain sound that he'll use sometimes. And so those were kind of the, what he termed kind of the essential tones. And as I poked around in some of the other kind of rig rundowns and things like that, I came across a couple effects that he uses pretty often. So one is, if we go back to the clean tone, he'll often use a chorus. And the example I saw, he described it as kind of an 80s clean chorus. And so that's what I've done here is I've added in a Chief DC2W. I'm in mode 4. And so that's just kind of that nice 80s kind of clean. And the other thing I see him using a lot is a phaser. And so what I've done here is I've created kind of a phase clean tone, and I'm using the MX Phase 95. I'm running it in type 90 and the block mode. So again, just giving a little bit more of a color to that clean tone. And so that's the kind of the preset that I've created for this Mark Lettieri kind of essential tones kind of preset. Like I said, he uses a lot of different pedals. Sometimes he's mixing in fuzz pedals or other effects. And it seems like he's one of those guys that's kind of moving pedals on and off his pedal board all the time. So it's hard to kind of nail down, what is his tone. It's not like an Eric Johnson who uses the same pedals for, 20 years kind of thing. So I think for him, I think we've kind of hit on the core ones. If there's any other ones that you feel like I missed, let me know in the comments below, and maybe we can work this preset together and get it further along. But I think this is a good kind of foundation for his kind of tone. So anyway, hope you found this helpful, and thanks for watching.